Okay, so we're back from our little technical difficulty from earlier, and so we're gonna start the show over again. And so welcome to Tech Talk. I'm your host, Michael Amorgan, and with us today we have Vicquell,
Hello.
Nally,
Yep.
and possibly Chris in a little bit. We'll have to see. Yeah, got a little space for him right down there. Now, we're going to start this session off today with just some information from Apple, since they seem to be having some issues this this past week. So, correct me if I'm wrong, Vicky. Or, I mean, Nally, since you both seem to be iPhone users. The bug with iOS 11.1, where you type an I and you're getting an A and a special character that's just a question mark in a box. What's up with that?
I have no clue. I don't think I'm aware of the bug.
Oh,
It's
see,
normally-
that means he was like the same as me who didn't experience it.
Yeah, so it's multiple devices, and devices, just like any other person, varies depending on what you have running on it. So, and it could also be a carrier issue as well.
Nah, it's not a carrier issue.
Okay, what was the report, or where is the report? So I can do a quick glance over.
Well, Vicky, do you want to just give him a quick update as to what was
Oh.
happening?
Well, it's basically an Apple issue,
Okay.
and it's basically whereas if you type I, it would give you like this square with like this funny A in the middle of it, and it's like an unreadable character. It's kind of like I don't know. It's supposed to be like a space, but something went wrong, and it just wasn't showing up as an I. And it's been happening. Apparently, it happened real wild. Like I noticed it with Jonathan. I noticed it Saturday when he tweeted. Like I saw it on my watch, and I was like, my watch probably just tripping out because I already had bugs.
Hold on,
And then I got it.
Quelly. Who's Jonathan? Like, I'm pretty sure Nally doesn't know, and some of our watchers probably don't know. And
Oh.
listeners.
Jonathan is the YouTuber that I watch. I think he's in charge of TBL. Jonathan
Okay.
Morrison, I think his name is. Yeah, so and that's who it was. And I thought my watch was just tripping out. And then I opened up my Twitter app and I noticed it there, and I was like, okay. And I was like, maybe I thought it was an iPhone 10 thing because he just got the iPhone 10. He was using the 10, so I figured it was affecting those instead of like the 8s. So I didn't really take no notice of it. And as the days went by, that's when I noticed it started to accumulate more and more and more. And then today I realized that it was a worldwide thing, and it was happening to a lot of people out there because iOS 11.1.1 was a trending topic on Twitter. That's how big it was for persons who was experiencing that bug. But I haven't experienced it, so I was pretty much fine.
Okay. So
then,
I just found out why I didn't experience it. My phone's not even updated to iOS 11. At all.
Well, I know
So-
why I didn't experience it. That's
You
because
don't
I
have an
stick with Android.
Yeah? How's hacking going with that?
I haven't had a single hack.
That's good. That's good. Not yet. When you become famous on YouTube, they're coming after you. Or Twitch. But that's probably why I haven't experienced it. I haven't updated. Updating isn't that exciting for me, especially because I have some on my iPhone. Sorry. So I like to keep those intact until I have an update. So that's why.
Oh, I can't wait to update. That's a thing for me.
Really? Why? Why are you so excited to
I
update that?
She's
think it's
excited about
because,
anything new from Apple.
Yeah.
I think they caught you in the craze. The better. I don't think you even appreciate or really have experienced the other side of Apple outside of just the hype that they present. Apple devices are, for one, secure, and two, once you have some sense of backdoor use of any iOS device, you could do the most out of, you get the most out of it and still stay secure. That's for me why I enjoy Apple so much. I gotta say.
Nally, you know you're talking out your backside right now, right?
Nope. Nope. Dude, a jailbroken iPhone is the greatest device on the planet.
A jailbroken iPhone has been one of the most broken versions of iOS when it comes to security.
Planet.
I tend to disagree. As a very tech person, I tend to disagree.
Just take a look. Take a look at the news articles and research about it. Typically, the persons that have jailbroken versions of iPhones typically have the most problems and are also the most susceptible. And they are.
Yeah. Well, of
they
course,
do get hit.
When you use third-party tweaks without any, obviously, they're just like modding anything or trying to root a device. You have to be careful with what you're doing. That's why they say, don't use certain features unless you're sure on what it is that you're doing. I know what I'm doing, so I have the power.
So you have the power after you've unlocked, and what is your warranty with stuff that...
Dude, warranty? Warranty? Warranty doesn't apply to me anyway. Where am I sending my phone back to which Apple store am I sending my phone back to from the Bahamas?
This is actually one here.
There's an Apple store that I can send my phone to.
It's not an Apple store, but it's an Apple...
certified store. You go to Micronet and they can fix your phone for you. But they're going to give you hassle if you don't have a warranty.
Exactly. So that's just easier to get a new phone. But I've never I had an iPhone 5 for quite some time, and I actually just upgraded to the 6 for space reasons. And I have never had a problem with my jailbroken device ever because I know what I was doing.
That's you though.
Exactly. That's why I can speak for me.
Everyone. You can't speak for the world.
I'm not talking about it.
But you said
I'm speaking for me, not the world.
You said it is the best device.
Yes, in the right. Okay, let me stand corrected. The best device in the right hands.
I still disagree with that.
Dude, if you give a professional sniper a gun, he can do the most amazing things. You give a child a gun, they will do something dangerous.
Okay, the both end up with the same result. Someone's dead.
Probably the child's gonna die.
Someone ends up dead.
Yeah.
But so I think that's not quite the best analogy, but
you get my drift.
I get what you're saying. I don't think that it is the best, because if you actually look at it, a rooted Android and a jailbroken iPhone. For starters, the Android could pretty much do everything that the jailbroken iPhone could do out of the box. And so the rooted version of Android typically would have more stuff that you could do, but you again run the risk of the exact same thing.
Agreed.
So it's kind of a catch-22. In today's day and age,
it's basically down to preference.
You shouldn't have to jailbreak or root anymore, to be quite honest.
I agree.
I haven't rooted my Android. Well, I have not Android device in a while. The first Android device I rooted was my Samsung Galaxy Ace, and it was a piece of crap.
I mean, ate by itself anyway, so.
Yeah, and I rooted it because I was online and I was like started seeing stuff. I was like, oh, let me test this out, and I rooted it, and then I was like, ooh, I want to be able to see characters. Back then they didn't have emojis, so I want to see characters from all my friends who have iPhones. Sending iPhone emojis. So I threw the character to show the little emoji con text into the folder, and that was basically my rooted game right there. And I just okay, what's next? And I think I bought a new phone a year after and bought it with that. I get bored really quickly, so it didn't after I rooted, just was what's next? And actually, I frigged up one of my phones because I was playing with the firmware after I got bored with the rooted, and I messed it up.
I think we lost Nally. When he comes back, then.
It's the South Park anime.
But yeah, Shaggy Austin, it's a noob error. South Park iPhone store makes me laugh. What?
I think maybe that there was an episode of South Park and they had an Apple store inside the episode.
I think I remember that one vaguely.
Oh, so they did have one.
But right. So let's get back to this. Nally will join us whenever he can. I think he had probably got disconnected. Where were we? Okay, so
Hello?
welcome back. As I'm
Sorry
about to
about that,
start
my
up the
internet.
next issue. Anyway, so
My internet flipped out. Remember that.
yeah, apparently that was the I to A thing, because we kind of got way derailed just then.
Okay.
The I to A thing, I think, I'm not sure if Vicky, if you would have said it, but yeah, that got fixed with 11.1.1, which came out today.
Which
So-
I feel have a hidden bug. I
I feel the same.
like there's a hidden bug.
It's always a hidden bug. As long as there's coding, there's going to be a nice hidden bug.
Oh, what did I... Okay. And okay. So the next thing about Apple is that, you know, the iPhone 10 came out and people were worried about the security when it came to Face ID and that people getting access to it, Apple selling it off, that kind of thing. And, you know, Apple came out saying, you know, it's secure, it's locked onto the device, you know, no one get access. And then they're giving access to app developers. Not the full access to, say, like, unlock your device with it, but they're allowing third-party app developers to create things like the app that allows you to record a fart from your face, which is weird. Like it quite literally just comes up with the fart emoji from your mouth, and I'm like,
Yep. I can't say anything is weird anymore because animojis are out there. So like it's just like it's kind of like it's playing a part with Animoji in a way.
it's disturbing. And like, okay, so what are people gonna do with it next? And I
So we could agree to disagree that technology doesn't always go in the right direction, but it does go in a direction. And
Yeah,
sometimes to shake your head at it and be like, what about cancer? Let's cure cancer. Why do we need talking emoji? Why do we need a talking poop emoji?
That's exactly how I thought. But then Animoji karaoke became a thing, and
It's gonna be like Vine. It's just gonna be another thing that everybody finds cool for right now, and then they're gonna
Yep.
pass on it.
thank you,
Exactly.
thank you. I say it's gonna last 1 to 2 weeks, and then it's gonna die off.
Yeah.
but it's so amazing though.
Has no one ever seen the meme calendar? We have an official meme calendar. You know that, right?
I haven't seen that in a while actually. I haven't seen it since February.
Just Google, you know, the meme calendar, and they'll show you everything that was relevant for that point in time, which usually spans 1 to 2 weeks, which is amazing, and they're absolutely correct. Some craze hits the internet for about 2 weeks, and this
So
didn't fall into the meme.
it's gonna be interesting. And I mean, there are some really good things that I can see coming from this, though, more so than just memes. Like
Agreed.
there's no, a company actually developed an app that uses that facial recognition software to then give you recommendations on glasses.
That makes sense.
Yes, I've seen it.
That seems to make a lot more sense.
Yeah,
well-
I think it's gonna be like the AR kit that they did with IKEA, where you can before you purchase a chair, you can like use your phone, and put it there to see if it looks good in that placement. So that part makes sense. I can see them making money from that.
But not just making money, helping the world. You know, they're doing this to help the world.
No, they're probably doing this to make money. These are the frames that you could buy from us. I mean, I can see some good coming from it, but I can see bad, and I mean, we're gonna have to really see how things happen. But
What do you think? What do you think of some of the bad things that may happen?
some really horrible emojis and memes, and that should burn.
Well, one of the things that I think is going to be a bad thing is people. If there's ever an issue where someone can actually steal your face, they could just start using it and imposing it in certain places. I now have a collection of faces for whatever reason I want to sell some product to whomever I feel like I need to sell it to. That can be an issue. Like, do you really want your face used to sell Viagra without your permission? But they have your face, so now they can sell it, and you have nothing. You can't do anything about it.
Well, I think that's what Apple was trying to say. They don't quite give them access to your face. They give them access to the technology to scan your face. But they can't, like, take that information and store that themselves. Or at least so says Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah, take that with a grain of salt. But
No, I mean, hey, dude. To be honest, I just prefer Apple because everything synergizes easier for me.
Exactly.
No,
The ecosystem is amazing.
yeah, like all my devices connect. My daughter has a iPod,
Exactly.
and I can take pictures. She automatically gets it without me having to worry about it. They're secure. If she takes a picture or she wants to send me a message, it's easier to transfer because obviously she doesn't live with me. My iPhoto has already updated, and I have collections spanning back almost 9 to 10 years. All of it's still secure, intact, in one place. If anything happens to my drive, I could easily get the backup. That's the main reason why I've stuck with it, to be honest. And to transfer out of that now wouldn't really help me.
Yep. I'm too deep in. Like, for me to transfer out of it, it's just gonna be like so much money.
But I'm invested for the right reasons. I'm not invested because of the hype. Dude, I had a few Android tablets that were rooted for other reasons that don't need to be said, and they serve their purpose. It's like I play both sides of the fence, but Apple is more convenient for certain things.
I give credit where credit's due. If Android has like something that wows me, I'm gonna give credit to it. I'm not gonna bash it simply because I'm an Apple fangirl.
that's one thing I could say about Vicky. Like, she will accept and bash Apple, but at the next moment, she'll be drooling over the next product that they come out with and saying how she needs it.
Yeah, dude, when they announced the iPhone 10 and with the iPhone 8 and the iPhone X, I was like,
10, not X.
yeah, I got it mad. I was like, bro, why do you just devalutize your own product? No one's gonna want the 8. They're all gonna want the 10 because it's the 10.
Yep.
It's designed completely different from the 8. Why would I buy the 8? Why would you even market the 8? Why?
Well, I mean, we kind of talked about that in last week's episode.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to bring that back, but it's like it's at that point where you're just pleasing the fans to give them the next year, next number, and then something new. So I'm gonna give you the iPhone 5 and the Apple Watch. Everyone's gonna get the Apple Watch, and then the iPhone 5 is gonna lose more value, or the iPhone 5S. And it's like, if people stand in line and buy it, that's their business, their money. And in the States, you can easily just trade in a phone for another, so it's easier for them. But
That's
it doesn't
exactly
make
what's
any
happening.
sense. Yeah,
But,
it's like, dude, who's gonna buy a car with the same car, same design, just 2018? People do it, but it doesn't make any sense.
Apple has also done something kind of interesting. Now, yes, they have this whole Apple, new screen with the LED and whatnot. But there's already them going about saying, be wary about the device, so on and so forth, because, you're going to probably start to see color shifting. You're going to start to see, like, different hues when you look at it at different angles or at the curves or whatnot. And yeah, you're gonna also see burn-in.
Burning?
Burn-in. You know, the same thing that people were like getting on the Pixel 2 and Pixel 2 XL about. The exact same stuff is going to be happening, more than likely, at least with the burn the stuff, with the iPhone 10. So it's kind of like...
Well, we don't care because it's Apple. Hey!
We got two Apple fans here. Haha. Now you can even the playing field.
What even the playing field? Doesn't matter. Like, I mean, the whole point is, would they trash the Pixel for? Like, the same thing is happening, or these Apple came was like, oh hey, it's gonna happen on our phones, and everyone's like, oh, okay.
Yep, they're not gonna trash it like how they did the Pixel 2, which I feel so bad for that phone. Like that phone just like went straight into the garbage.
No, it isn't. Like the people who like, if you actually read the reviews, people are loving it. Like really, it's only the media who's trashing the Pixel 2. Everyone else is saying the Pixel 2 is the best Android experience you can get, which it has always been.
So why aren't you getting the Pixel 2?
I am getting the Pixel 2. I said I was gonna get it later. I always said I was gonna get it later.
Good stuff, man.
I was waiting to see the other phones, because the other phones that come out, because I wanted to see someone may come out with a headphone jack, and if there's a high-end phone comes with a headphone jack, I'm gonna get that. But looking at
Hold on.
there's
The Pixel 2 doesn't have a headphone jack?
No.
Nope. It's
Dude,
time
why do people feel as if no one loves their aux cord?
I don't know.
Madness has to stop.
It does. I agree.
Aux cord is life.
It
Aux
is.
cord will always be life. You
It
will
is.
always go to a party and plug in your phone with your aux cord.
Not
You're never
that
going to go.
not
You're never
iPhone.
going to go to a party and be like, "Yo, let me get that Bluetooth password, bro."
Or you carry a dongle with you and you can use it.
That sounds
Yes, but
gay
you got-
hearing it.
Like,
Like,
Bro, pass me your dongle. Let me stick this into your dongle.
Ah, dang, man.
Oh.
I have some music I want to play, dude. Anybody got a dongle?
no.
No. Why would we buy wireless Beats? The entire thing that we're talking about is not going with Bluetooth. We want to keep our aux cords. We want 3.5 millimeter headphone jacks.
Bluetooth is convenient at times, and I stress at times. I have a Bluetooth FM transmitter in my car, and that is convenient because I can just hop in my car and fix it.
Exactly.
That is fine. I don't really need wires in my car. That'll be fine. Friends come over, they could just hop in the car and it'll connect, and they can play music. It's
But
fine.
you don't need to charge
But-
that. Do you really want to charge your headphones?
No.
Exactly.
It's
My
like,
charging case lasts, I think about, like, I didn't charge it for like almost 4 days and the battery was still going strong.
See, but at some point you have to take your headphones out and put them in the charging case to charge them. Guess what that means? That means you can't listen to music. So
But
you
you're
cannot
not-
do a continuous listen to music. You can't do that. You
I'm
cannot
pretty
continuously
sure-
listen to music.
I'm pretty sure that there's a point in time where you're not going to continuously listen to music and you're going to have to
If
take your
I'm traveling for a long time, I will be listening to music.
oh
all
yeah.
day.
That's
Or
true.
movies.
Well, he's got you there.
I listen to music the entire time.
and you're going to eventually get tired, like, oh, you know, I'm tired. Let me take off these headphones.
Oh,
thing and
okay,
get-
hold on, Vicky,
Music
hold
Music
on,
is life.
hold on, just one sec. What about movies? What are you gonna do then?
Your earphones are dying and you're watching a good movie. What you gonna do with that?
Some movies are 2 hours long.
Catch that outside.
Okay. I can
Lord of the
understand
Rings.
Hey, no, what she'll have to do is she'll have to take, put that in the charging case.
Yep.
And then
that.
swap.
Gotta swap it.
That's so inconvenient.
That means you have to buy 2 sets of headphones when I
And
could
the
buy
whole
a
dongle
$20
thing is so
piece of
stupid.
headphones. You gotta pay like what, $300 just to get continuous listening? That don't make no sense. That makes
So
absolutely
what happens if you accidentally have some weird mischarge and the headphones don't work anymore? What are you gonna do then?
Well,
gotta rebuy
you
them.
gotta
Gotta
guess why.
all that money again.
Why you have the 3.5 millimeter ones?
Like it just don't make sense to remove that jack. That jack is just so important, and
It
so,
is.
so much more convenient. It's just
It's ingrained in society.
oh man, like Bluetooth is just not there yet. When
No.
when I don't have to charge my headphones for like literally like an entire day,
Give
then
me some
okay,
Nokia
we're talking.
headphones. Give me some Nokia headphones where they can
Saxophone.
last for almost a year.
I'm good. I'm good about the Nokia headphones. Now we kind of, I think we're done with the whole Apple news thing, but oh, actually we're not. We're not. I just remembered. Apple is also getting sued because of something interesting. Their dual camera system. The iPhone 7 Plus and 8 Plus, and the 10 is not included because it was just released like not so long ago. But those two devices, and I'm pretty sure the 10 is going to eventually be included, are being Apple's taking it in because then Apple's being sued because what the company that's suing them is saying is that they have a patent on the technology that takes pictures from both cameras, compiles them together to give a much more detailed picture when you're taking those photos. And that's exactly something that Apple does with their iPhone systems, with the dual cameras.
So the system doesn't do that and takes just as good or actually better pictures than the iPhone X.
iPhone 6.
10.
See, here's the thing.
Pixel 2 XL. Oh man.
See, here's the thing. I don't know if that company even has a phone. Because Apple, and here's the thing. Apple bought an Israeli company. This company is also Israeli. So it's also a matter of who started what first.
Yeah. And who can prove it?
I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. I mean, they're so small and they're going up against a giant like Apple.
It's not even that. Like, so I think they're gonna lose because they're trying to. It basically sounds like they're trying to patent stereoscopic imagery. That's all it really is. Really is. Taking of two separate images from two separate cameras and processing them overlaid to get the highest detail. Like, you can't really sue a big dog for that. Like, you were a little fish in a little pond trying to sue a shark.
Somehow they got a patent.
If they have the patent for it, they can, and they can actually get a lot of money. But I just don't think that this is gonna go pretty far. Like, I don't know. I just don't feel that it's gonna go far.
No.
Just like with
Apple will probably run them. Apple will probably run them first.
Apple could give them a settlement or anything.
Just like what happened last time with the guy in the emojis. Like, you realized that his case vanished.
Yeah.
It popped up and like all of a sudden just like dwindled down. Apple probably paid him.
Yep.
More than likely they paid him a good amount and like
an iPhone 10. Still, you'd be a sucker if you didn't take that.
They probably give him a faulty iPhone 10 anyway.
Now, getting into some other topics that are kind of weird. Who here has used TripAdvisor?
I haven't.
You haven't, or you have?
Expedia all the way. TripAdvisor.
I can just Google.
I need to start traveling more. I feel bad.
Okay, so here's the thing. How would you feel if you were checking out this hotel and you didn't know that their staff pretty much used to sexually harass or assault people?
Sounds like my kind of hotel. Joke.
Okay. Wow. I think you and I need to have a separate talk, Nally. Essentially, what TripAdvisor was doing, people used to report that, you know, they had experienced a sexual assault or sexual harassment at this location. And TripAdvisor used to either censor or get rid of those posts, stating that, you know, it was and they came back, you know, since it kind of hit main media news as of like last week. I think it was November 1st. So that kind of blew up. And then they issued a press statement saying, you know, okay, well, it was our logarithms. They were outdated, so on and so forth. And, you know, we're working to improve that. And then my question to that is, okay, it was your logarithms. Who coded your logarithms? Is it not you?
I guess. I mean, suppose.
So your question is in regard to the post being removed?
well,
Like it should have been moved?
no, my question was more like, it was kind of more rhetorical in a sense, I guess you could say. Like, you build something and then you blame that thing that you built on doing what you built it to do, the way how it did it. Anyway, so
Yeah.
what they're saying now is, okay, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be putting a badge up on these places now. They're not really saying sorry or apologizing. They're just gonna put this badge up that says, this place has had reports of sexual assaults and so on and so forth. They're going to keep it up for 3 months, and if they get more reports, they will keep it up maybe longer. I think personally,
Pretty much all of Kevin Spacey's property.
yeah, pretty much. I believe. Oh, jeez. I personally believe that they should probably keep it up for longer, maybe like a year or two. And
Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's a good idea, because at the same time, I understand I think I understand, and I'm just being the devil's advocate. They want to protect the business as well. It's still a business. If the business is generating money for the site, you actually want to make sure, okay, yes, they may have had some issues, but now we're going to give them a badge. And if they don't fix it, then their badge is going to stick and it's going to lose them money. But we're not going to lose money from them because we're not doing what we're supposed to do. Because if I have a hotel and my hotel is getting bad reviews, I now have to deal with my hotel. If I improve that, the badge goes away and we continue to make money. But to leave it up for a year means like, okay, we fixed it, but now we still have this badge, and that's a year-long hit that we're going to take.
I think you should have it.
Why should I even deal with TripAdvisor if that's the case? Like at that point, it's just ridiculous.
Or you can have like level for the badges.
At that point, I feel like this
green,
is
yellow,
like
red.
Like,
So
but then at the same time, how do you stop internet trolls?
I don't know. Badges make it seem like a reward.
Yeah, but again,
For real, like
if
for real,
anybody
badges
goes on
seem
the
like a
internet
reward.
and say, "Oh, I had this experience," and like a bunch of people just start spamming it, then now you have a whole business that's getting red flagged, and they probably didn't even do nothing.
What about false claims?
Exactly.
Who's checking these things to make just because you have a lot of claims doesn't mean that it's actually legit. So who's checking to see that? Oh, hey, or double checking to say, hey, are these claims for real, or are people just trying to get a badge?
That was my next question.
Because I can tell you, if they start that badge system, I go to all my competitors and I'll do whatever just to get. Oh yeah,
Like, and that was his next question. Who's to say a group of spring breakers didn't go to a hotel and they were like, oh, this guy came in and he molested us in our sleep. Like, unless there's proof that, okay, we filed a report with the police station and the situation was reported, and then they could be like, the site now needs to take, okay, this is a problem. We can't have our business and being tarnished because of this place, and it's actually a problem.
Okay,
Then, yes.
so here's a question.
Multi-layered.
Do you believe that 3 months is the okay time? Because after that, who's to say they're even going to bother checking that anymore? Where someone could still be working there and do it again.
If it's an algorithm and it's doing based off reports, that'll be fine, because then say you have a bunch of reports come in, they get tagged and they get their little badge, and then if the reports keep coming in 3 months later, then they're gonna then the badge is gonna still be up.
Yeah,
big deal. Like, I mean, it's gonna still be up there because reports are still coming in. They have not fixed it. But if people start going there, and they realize that, hey, we're actually not, and this and that, and they find that it's been changed, then it will drop in 3 months. 3 months is a reasonable time for that to drop off. If they're still getting reports, it's going to continue. So
yeah, and at the same time, if the algorithm says, okay, the reports are coming in and are positive, it's going to take the badge down earlier than the 3 months span, then that kind of is a justice system. So you get your badge if there is a problem, and if there's no longer a problem, your badge is removed.
I don't know about it move earlier though. That's dicey, because how do you tell, like, what are people going to be reviewing? Oh, hey, I wasn't sexually assaulted at this place. Who's going to be saying that? No one's going to be saying that. Just because you're getting positive reviews doesn't mean that people still aren't getting sexually assaulted. So you're going to only have to go based off of those type of comments.
Not only that, but what's to say, like, okay, so the person who's doing it sees that the place gets flagged, waits another 3 months, happens again, after the
Well,
badge goes down.
I don't know. Like this is gonna be a
Yeah, it's very
systemic
tricky.
problem because it's like the person who's doing it, they're not gonna be like, oh man, like I'm gonna hide this from all my other employees, from all the other employees and all my coworkers, whatever, and I'm gonna let this, blow over. And I'm like, come on, it's gonna be a company-wide thing, especially if you're on TripAdvisor and you want a decent score and you see you've been flagged. You're gonna be like, okay, we've heard this, we're gonna crack down on this, we're gonna find who's doing what, and we're gonna get rid of that person. Like that's typically that's what I would do.
Yes, that's the
proper
most
response
sensible
should be.
course of action.
Otherwise, what's gonna happen is you're gonna get that badge right back on you again, and it's gonna make it. And come on, people are gonna know. People are gonna be like, oh yeah, like this badge always pop up like every now and then. And it can be good for your business. It's not gonna be good for your business.
But what's to say that, like, what's in terms of history? There's no history to say, okay, well, this place was marked before.
It's gonna be marked again because people are gonna keep doing it.
Okay, but then you're only just seeing it. Like, what if you would have only gone there the very first time? You would only be seeing it for the very first time.
How about this? Screw TripAdvisor and use Expedia.
Kayak.
But Kayak doesn't really have like reviews and stuff like
Dude,
that.
I don't travel. I wasn't even in that conversation.
Just throwing something.
It's just throwing something.
I just like the kayak commercials.
Overall,
That's
though,
a good idea, but I don't think that's something that they should get involved in. Like, I understand people who want it, but there are certain things that as a company, like, it's sad, but you kind of have to stay away from, and you can't just jump in and be like, oh, hey, yeah, we're going to do this. And that's one of them, because it's a very tricky situation. You need to warn people and tell people, like, you need to understand that if you're going to someplace that is sketchy, like if you want cheap rates and stuff like that, the cheaper rates you want, the more sketchy of a place you're going to be at. That's just a matter of fact, and people need to understand that, and people need to take some onus on them. You can't be like, oh, TripAdvisor, I can't believe you didn't tell us that. What do you want TripAdvisor to do? There's already the reviews there. Read the reviews. See all the people saying these things. Like, what do you want them to do? You want them to put a badge up? No, do your research. You're the one taking the trip. You're the one using their site. TripAdvisor cannot hold your hand. These sites cannot hold your hand. You need to, at some point, accept responsibility for decisions.
And you take a risk wherever you go anyway, so...
Exactly. So what now? If you go to some store, whatever, and their clerk, whatever, you want them to, this store is horrible. No, you deal with the clerk whoever did whatever. You file something against them. If you've been sexually assaulted on any trip that you go on, you file a police report. Then you get that dealt with. Then that's what you do.
Yep.
You don't go home and then be like, oh man, blah blah blah. TripAdvisor needs to do this. No, what are you doing? This way too late. You should have dealt with that when it happened, like right afterwards. Go to the police, the proper authorities who are supposed to deal with that.
I agree. Apparently, you also have a fan in chat, Rajan Salt. He says, he kind of agreed. Well, he kind of suggested the same thing as Vicky with the different badges for level of risk, but he says you're killing it, Chris.
Yep, that's a specialty.
Killing stuff?
Yep.
Okay.
You be killing
But okay, so we can all admit it's going to be a very sketchy thing. It's going to be something that's not going to be a quick fix. What about things like revenge porn? I know I'm taking quite a different spin on this now.
Wait, what?
Revenge porn. See, I'm the only one that didn't know. Revenge porn is.
Vicky's acting like this because I told her earlier.
Revenge porn is like you and a significant other breaks up, and the person have like photos of your naughty bits, and they can share it on social media simply because you guys broke up. That's revenge porn.
Like what your boy do to China?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So, how do you guys feel about that?
It's wrong.
Why would you do that? It's wrong. There's no justification for posting someone's naughty bits.
Naughty bits. Oh my god.
That's what I said.
And she's just parroting along.
I mean, it just is you really can't It's not cool. It's not cool.
Okay, it's wrong. I mean, we all agree it's wrong.
Yeah. So so we all agree it's wrong. how do you feel? Okay, so Facebook wants to tackle this on its platform.
Okay.
And it's doing a little trial test in Australia where apparently it's reported that every 1 in 4 women experience this, which is horrible when you really think about it. But
It is.
here's the thing. Their method of resolving this is, let me see if I can find it exactly. Okay,
My
so
girlfriend, ex-boyfriend did, and I sent him to prison. Cool. Cool.
okay, so you would take a picture that you would have sent out, for example, or that you are about to send out, and you send it to yourself over Facebook Messenger. You then flag that nude saying non-consensual intimate image. The Facebook then creates a hash of that particular nude that acts like a fingerprint to your body. Kind of weird when you really think about it like that. And then, so if anyone tries to upload that exact same nude, it gets flagged. And it's they're restricted from being shared.
So basically, Facebook wants me to give them nudes.
Yes!
This is the most elaborate sent nudes request I have ever heard.
I'm telling you, dude. You ever seen that thing on Facebook that say, "Get someone to say send nudes. Get someone to send nudes without saying send nudes."
Yes, this is
That
the
is
most...
it. That is the best version I've ever heard. That's genius.
Oh man.
Oh man, I've never heard that before.
Okay.
So essentially, hold on. I just have to clarify that I understand. Facebook says that if we see something that is your giblets, you tag that as your giblets, we'll keep a photo recognition print of your giblets to say that if anybody tries to post this, they'd be like, hey, we know this is XYZ's giblets and we're not going to allow you to post it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Well then.
Oh, man, this is the most elaborate send nudes request I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't think it get more elaborate than this.
Send nudes.
Good game, Facebook. Good game, Zuck. Good game.
So here's a question that I actually have for Vicky, since woman and
She's a
everything
girl.
like that. Yeah, exactly. So Vicky, as
Yes.
hey, I can afford to be. Vicky,
Oh,
as a
big baller.
woman, how do you feel about this?
I don't know, I feel kind of okay with it. I think the for like most females out there, actually, I'm not speaking for people. I just feel like the part that's a bit sketchy is the fact that I have to send my nudes to somebody else in order for them to verify it and then take it down. So it's kind of like I have to send this news to this person. It's going to constantly, I'm assuming that they're going to constantly be changing shifts. So like multiple people in the office will be able to see my nudes and etc. and they have to take it down. In which the privacy for that feature could be, I guess, discussed or like implemented, whereas like Facebook come up with something in order for a person to like not be able to share your nudes, or like they basically have some type of confidentiality agreement with Facebook in terms of the nudes, like when I send them to the person.
I personally think that they should probably lock this down quite harshly, to the point where, it's sandboxed. So that's the only thing that the person could really do. The computer doesn't have any access to things like Imager, Dropbox, Google Drive, anything like that. And the computer itself should not have access to thumb drives. There should be no USB port. I mean, that's my thoughts. Because, when you really think about it, companies like Best Buy, which are big companies as well, look what happened with their Geek Squad. People were downloading people's porns from their porn from their computer and keeping it on a thumb drive and sharing it with other people within that branch or company or whatever.
You know what's worse than Facebook employees seeing your nudes?
What?
Their AI having your nudes, someone hacking into their cloud and having access to all of everyone's nudes.
Everybody.
That's way worse than any type. And you can't, I don't care what you do, they're going to get hacked eventually. Um, it's just a matter of time.
Everybody gets hacked.
Exactly. So
It's like a matter of time when.
Uh, have fun. Trying to protect your nudes, I guess.
And not only that, though, they are also kind of defending humans really taking a look at this as well, because they're saying that human moderators, in some cases, have their eyes perform
hacking into their cloud, not the AI. The AI can do whatever they want. They can like we don't want Facebook to know how you look naked. I mean, you don't want that. Facebook already knows like your grandmother is like half dead already, and it's gonna tell you, hey, exactly when she dies. Sorry for your loss. Like, how do you know that, Facebook?
But,
Facebook's creepy.
It is, but they want their people to be kind of creepy too.
Oh, wait.
Because
So Facebook is creepy, but Google's AI isn't creepy.
No, Google tells you exactly what they're doing. Facebook doesn't. Google is open and they say, like, look here, we're taking this information and recording this information. Facebook does not. Like, Facebook doesn't tell you that they scan your WhatsApp voice notes. We had to find that out on our own. They don't tell you that.
I remember that, but like people like had like this major epidemic when they were like, oh my gosh, my WhatsApp conversation is gonna be linked to Facebook, etc., etc.
And it is.
Yep.
And that's the thing. Facebook isn't open about this, but Google is open about everything they record and they track. They're open about it. And Google, anytime Google has implemented something, I've always received a direct benefit from it. There are lots of things that Facebook has done and I've received no direct benefit from. And they just hoarding this information. It's like, why are you hoarding this? Like, what are you gonna do with this? And then they want to serve you ads. See, ads is not a benefit to me. So if you're taking all my personal information and all this little stuff from all over the place and you want to serve me ads, like, come on. And then Facebook's reach is just so ridiculously far. It's just crazy. Like, you cannot be on Facebook at all. Never signed up for Facebook, and Facebook knows that you exist. And Facebook probably has a bunch of information about you simply because the people you're around use Facebook. And they would have mentioned you here or there, or you dropped in a photo or something like that. Or they would have your email address, they would have your number. So Facebook knows that you exist simply because other people has it. Like, Google doesn't know. If you're not on Google, then guess what? You're not on Google. That's it. Like, that's why Facebook is so scary and Facebook is so creepy. Because Facebook is just so far reaching. It's just crazy. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
just getting back to what I was saying though. Apparently Facebook also wants their human moderators. Their justification for human moderators with this as well is that human eyes can sometimes perform more sensitively than an AI-centered photo detection program. And, you know, when you really think about it as well, you would have sent a picture to them to keep on file. What happens if the person edits that that photo a little bit and then uploads it? Will it recognize it as the same file and mark it?
That I don't think so. I don't think it would recognize the exact file, because unless it's set to just pick out specific things from off like your nude photo and figure it out like that. But other than that, I don't think so. And it's also gonna leave the question as like in terms of like lighting and so on. Like if you take photos in a lit area, we'll be able to pick up that that's you. Like if you had a photo in a kind of like a dimmed area, if you send somebody a photo in a dim area and like they posted because they got upset about you, and you have to send Facebook like a proper nude photo, which like I guess proper lighting and so on, for to get like every inch of your body fit to recognize that that's your naughty bits that got leaked.
We're giving things a lot of different names tonight. Overall though, but
hey, I mean, we'll see. If people use it, they use it, I guess. You don't have to. You don't have to send Facebook your nudes, so.
This then goes back to what Raleigh.
Just, if you're gonna send nudes, don't include your face.
Yeah, like, dude, it's easy. And you know what's depressing? The fact that 1 in 4 women have this problem where their nudes are leaked. That means there are probably 4 women sending nudes. Like every 4 women is sending nudes.
No, that's the
And-
only ones who have this problem.
dude,
That's not.
But I feel you. But that means that there are a lot of women sending nudes. Just 1 in 4 is having the issue.
You
Which
know
sucks,
who send?
because,
You know who send more nudes than women? Guys.
Dick pics.
Yep.
Yep. And they just have them like saved on their phone, and I'm just like, you just like keep that there.
No, they send a special one to you every time.
Like I'm just like, why are you like saving it on your phone? Like, why don't you just like send it, delete it, and like when you need to take another one.
But okay, so let's kind of move away from this topic, and it's kind of feeling gross now.
Ah.
But okay, Windows 10. The two people on the right hand side of this conversation probably have nothing to say. I hope. But Windows 10 is apparently getting an AirDrop type of feature.
Yay. 21st century.
When you took them how long? I could finally say it. That as an
I know,
iPhone.
right?
You do realize that we're not
We-
talking
hey,
Android, right?
Apple's been doing that, what, 2005?
For a couple years now. It's about time you
Hello.
guys hop in the bandwagon.
I mean,
It was you guys.
No, well, whomever the cap fits.
Essentially, though,
But
it,
continue.
See,
AirDrop-
we didn't need
feature.
AirDrop because we could have just connected like our computers together. Like it doesn't matter.
So why
You
do y'all want AirDrop now?
We don't want it. They give it to us. We didn't ask for that. We were
So-
never like, oh man, we need this thing so
so-
badly. We didn't ask for any of that. They just put it there. I'll see who uses it.
In other words, and I feel like they had to take a test or they had to take a poll to see which percentage of persons would prefer it over the other. And I'm assuming that a lot of persons said that they would like to have that feature on their Windows devices, so therefore they add it.
No, I can tell you right now, they don't ask people.
They just
These
do it.
companies don't ask people. They just do it. This is Microsoft.
They just do
it.
what's trending.
You really
the
think
most part.
Microsoft sat down and asked people, oh, hey, what do you want now? Come on, no. If this is Samsung, maybe, because Samsung listens to their users. If this is OnePlus, maybe OnePlus listens to their users. Microsoft? No. No. Look at Skype. Ever since Microsoft got their hands on it. Trash.
now, apparently, there's also the fact that, these computers would also need to have access to Bluetooth. So that's already, for the most
Wait,
part,
you can only airdrop over Bluetooth?
Yeah.
Nah, no one's using that. I'm
exactly,
not using it. No one's
exactly.
using it.
What?
That don't
What?
make no sense.
Uh,
That'll
dude,
make no
what?
sense.
It's not even over Wi-Fi.
That don't make no
So,
sense.
Bluetooth.
That'll make no
Bluetooth,
sense.
because it has to be near. Remember, Windows computers can already do the whole remote desktop, remote connections kind of thing, and share files
Yeah.
like that over the internet, regardless. So that's not a big thing. They want it where you're nearby and you can send files to people around you. That's the whole purpose of AirDrop.
Honestly, I've never had a situation where I was like, oh
you
man,
need
I
to
wish I could have
Bluetooth something to
airdropped from
computer.
this computer to another. I've never had that issue. Never.
No.
Most of the things that I have are on
Dude.
my external hard drive that I need to transfer, so I just
Dude,
plug it in.
there's
and-
never been a point where you said, "Oh, I have to airdrop something to my computer via Bluetooth."
If it's
No.
Bluetooth, I'm not doing it.
Dude,
I'm
it's, Bluetooth is
slow.
garbage. It's so slow.
So,
Yeah.
Like that's. You might as well send a.
Oh,
Might as well
I-
send a Morse code. Morse code.
I've airdropped a few things. I've airdropped like a few large files and moved rather quickly. I didn't expect it to move that fast. I expected it to move slower than that, but it surprised me.
Now, I will say this. Another company has done something has something very similar, and that's Android, with the new file manager type thing that's in beta testing.
I had airdrop from my Android, and I could have transferred stuff from my PC to my Android by just dragging and dropping.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's been apps for
Wirelessly.
that kind of stuff for a while now.
hmm
This is the first thing from Google, I think, though, that is built into the file manager.
Oh yeah.
Which,
I wouldn't call that a file manager.
but
I tried it. It's not a file manager. It's pretty bad as a file manager, actually. It's great as a storage organizer to organize your storage. As a file manager, it's terrible. It's awful. I'm not even gonna lie. It's awful as a file manager.
I
I will
mean,
never
it's got a nice
okay.
design as well.
Okay,
really
so
nice
go.
design.
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go and rename a folder.
Yeah, you can't actually. Let's see. So files. We got. Oh,
Yeah, go into WhatsApp and change like add a new folder to WhatsApp in the WhatsApp folder.
yeah, you can't.
Yeah, because it's a terrible file manager.
All you've
Terrible
got are options to see downloads, received files, images,
It's
and that's not
garbage.
focusing in.
It's garbage. Whereas I can literally come right now and open up the actual file manager I use, and you know what it shows me?
Files.
It shows me all the folders on my phone, like literally everything, like everything.
Let me see. My
It's-
file manager
It's a
shows
proper
me.
file manager.
Vicky, you don't have a file manager.
I know. I cracked jokes on the files app.
Now, I will admit there are some neat little features to this, like making more space.
Yeah, as a storage organizer, it's
Like-
great.
Okay, so for example, if I've got a bunch of different pictures,
That baby though. Who baby that is?
that's one of my coworkers' babies.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
whatever
likely
reason.
story. Likely story.
It looks nothing like him,
Your
Chris.
coworkers say, that's a good answer, bro. My coworker baby. I like
That's
that.
so
That's a good answer.
flippin' stupid. And next year I'll just say that this is created by me with like one of those government press releases. Anyway,
You never know. You never know.
so let's take this. We're gonna just delete it.
Why don't delete the baby though?
Okay, delete the baby. I don't,
Because that may be illegal in some states.
To delete a baby.
it's pretty quick with it, and not only that,
It's ready
this little
out, you can
dude,
delete it once it's out.
this little dude right here, like he's so nice.
Yeah, it is.
That's the one thing you guys got. Like your characters are just too adorable.
Yeah, it's a nice storage. It's a nice storage organizer to like organize your space and to make sure you know that you don't run out of space. But as a file manager, it's awful. It's terrible as a file manager. Like I don't know why they called it files to go. No, files go.
Let's go, yeah.
I guess they mean go as in delete because that's the only thing you'll be doing for that app.
Is that supposed to be like the equivalent of the My Files app on Samsung devices?
No,
It's more like the Estimate, but you don't have Android.
Yeah.
Estimate. It's closer to Estimate than it is a file manager. Like it's better at that than it is at organizing your files.
and then the AirDrop thing I was talking about is this right here, where you go to files and then you could share with people nearby, which is over Bluetooth, to transfer files securely without the internet. Send and
Ew,
receive.
terrible. I used to do it over Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I tried it. It turned my
Terrible.
Bluetooth on,
Fine.
so
I think I'm like probably the only one that's okay with Bluetooth.
Bluetooth is just
Yeah,
Bluetooth
probably.
is
Yeah.
Terrible technology
Dude,
right now.
Unless you
it's not
listen to
matured.
music, Bluetooth makes sense.
Yeah.
It's an actually super purpose.
Bluetooth headphones also have a lower quality than aux headphones.
Yep.
Yeah.
You'll never see an audio engineer using Bluetooth headphones.
That's true.
So, moving on from that, Skype. Since Chris also mentioned Skype just a few moments ago.
Oh my god, this app
This ancient dinosaur.
that won't die. We need a meteor.
Apparently Skype got some features from Slack. And now it's
What?
wanting to now it wants
No
to
one
take
cares.
some features from Snapchat with like
No one
filters for pictures.
Poor Snapchat, they getting they getting robbed left, right, and center. Everyone just like, oh hey.
I have a new UI update coming soon. But-
Android, whatever. They said, oh, we built the new Android app from the ground up. We don't care. Snapchat, why aren't you guys dead yet? I mean, y'all want to give more features for people to teeth? Fine.
It's only a matter of time before they completely die out. And I kind of feel bad for them because they came up with this nice idea and like everybody just kind of like picked a piece off of
To
them.
send nudes to people freely, yeah. We wouldn't need Facebook to do that if Snapchat actually stuck to that and kept around.
It's like they were like Snapchat was a nice cake, and people just came and just cut slices off of it and went their way and made it kind of like their own thing and made it big for their app. Like Instagram stories have like I've seen a noticeably like increase in persons using Instagram stories now. Same thing with WhatsApp.
Yeah, a lot of people use WhatsApp stories in my contacts.
Yeah, and I kind of feel bad for Snapchat.
I don't feel bad for them.
Neither me.
But I have no heart, man.
What is hard? What's the Snapchat? Snapchat don't care about
Hey,
me.
technology has no heart.
Livelihood.
Technology has no
They'll get other jobs.
They are getting a money boost injection, whatever you want to call it, from Tencent, which, I mean, that name's come up a lot during the different shows that I do, but in essence, Tencent is a Chinese company. Do you really want the Chinese to have access to your Snapchat stuff?
The Chinese. It's not all of the Chinese. It's just a Chinese company. Oh my goodness.
Hot
It's not Chinese. It's not that.
Oh, my Snapchat's pretty clean and clear, so they can do whatever.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good.
Okay. So, have any of you heard about the new thing called Blowgate?
Yes.
No.
Figures you'd be the first one to talk about that, Vicky.
I feel like Neely's mind just like went so in the gutter.
Nally.
No, yours did.
Nally, yeah, thanks.
Bill Gate.
What?
No, Blowgate.
What'd you say?
Blowgate.
Oh, Blowgate. I was like Bill Gates. Like
Yeah.
what? I was like Google Blowgate.
Essentially, you're probably going to find a lot of different porn if you search that, to be quite honest.
As I search incognito.
Just don't go to any, like, websites, because then you never know, like, sound.
Why not? You won't know.
I don't know.
He
It's
has on
like,
headphones. What are you talking about?
I don't know. They might come out loud or something. I don't know.
I've been playing those videos since this thing started. What are you talking about?
Anyway, I'm not gonna ask that question just for the sanity of my mind.
Out of your mind. Oh man.
Essentially,
Why is it
what,
not going up?
what they're saying is that the microphones on the S8 Note8, I mean, the original article was mentioning these two, would stop working until you blow into them, much like how you would have done with the like cartridges back in the day.
Nostalgia. Oh man.
And
I missed
then,
that.
So remember what I said earlier about technology not always making the best decisions?
yeah.
Yep.
It's definitely another one of those.
And then a little bit later on today, they also came out stating that, the Pixel 2 is also having this exact same issue.
The regular Pixel.
It's just a minor thing. Like, it's not widespread.
Still weird.
It is weird, but it's not widespread. So, I don't know why the media's freaking out about it. Actually, they freaked out more about the Pixel than they did the Samsung. No
Yeah.
one really cared about the Samsung. Like, it didn't hit media attention with
it's
Samsung. It was
not
just
on
on some forums. But it picked up media attention with the Pixel. Well, the Pixel is taking some bad heat. Boy.
Yeah.
I think because it's the Pixel, people are intentionally focusing on it.
I don't know why. Like, no, people just. I don't know why they on it. I really don't know why they on it.
Yeah, we get it every year, so it's just more like okay, it's only a matter of time until like it dwindles down. People get over it.
I think it might be like, I hate to say it, but I feel like something is happening. The reason why they're intentionally focusing on it, they're picking apart too many small little things that have already been like bigger things back in the day, and blowing it out of proportion.
Yeah. Particularly with the Pixel.
Maybe Google's upset somebody.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Google upsets a lot of people.
Yep.
Now, that also leads to another kind of issue with Internet of Things and what happens when things start breaking down. So, for example, I think it was Logitech. They launched a product a few years back, and they are wanting to upgrade the service. So they're not going to upgrade that product anymore, which is connecting to their cloud service. And they want to make things a bit more secure, so they're suggesting people go and buy their new product. And that within a few months, they're going to stop service to the cloud. They're going to shut down the cloud, so that device will no longer work. And people are apparently having some issues with that because even just recently they were having like fire sales to sell off these devices. So it's like, come buy this device. Now that you've bought it, we're going to turn it off. And so that kind of leaves a thing about Internet of Things where, you know, you buy something, it stops working. What do you really do? Like, you just spend a lot of money and the crap's not going to work anymore.
Yeah, you go purchase the new one.
iPhone users in 5 years.
It's the way technology works.
Low. I don't know what to say. It's just what companies do. They tell you, hey, get this. Now, you know what? Guess what? That's now obsolete. Get this new
And that's why I like to buy devices that I completely own, that don't rely on some third party or cloud thing in order to operate. I much prefer that. That's why I like to stick to Android. Android gives me full control, complete control over my phone. I can do whatever I want with it. I can remove the entire system and install another system on it if I want. I'm completely fine in that regard. Even with like laptops, like I would never get a Chrome OS laptop. I would never even touch that with a 10-foot pole unless I could wipe it and then install something else on it.
Oh, fun
Other than
fact,
Chrome OS.
you kind of missed this part, but Nally believes that the iPhone is the best device jailbroken in the right hands. He clarified to the right hands.
Never. It'll never be able to touch the capabilities and the amount that you can do with a rooted Android or custom ROM. Like, even jailbroken, you're still very limited because they don't let you really get that far into their system. Like, you can literally build your own Android if you want to. That's how deep into Android you can get. And that's how come we have all these different OEMs. That's how come we have the Samsung version of the Android, the LG version of the Android, the OnePlus version of the Android. That's why we have all these different things, because you can get that deep into it and you can customize it that much. You can't do it with Apple. There's no way.
Okay.
Or you just be like me and set default.
Low.
I mean, I stick with default too. I stick with stock Android. I don't need to root it. But I'm just saying, the things you can do with a rooted Android, the things I could do with my Android alone, you can't do with a jailbroken iPhone. And my Android is not rooted. So, and I still can do more things than a jailbroken iPhone, so.
Okay.
I'm surprised you're not really fighting back at all.
I
Like,
mean,
There's not much to fight back. I mean, it's just facts. That's not to say that it's bad. It's just different. That's all.
nothing really to argue about. I know why I like it, and like I said, I mentioned why it's good for me. It serves my purposes, and I use it to the fullest for what I need it for. I can't say the same for everybody else. Like when I use it, like when I show people what I do on my phone, that's awesome, and I love it. They be like, "Dang, I didn't even know I could do it." I say, "Yeah, most people don't," and I again don't incur and I don't suffer the issues most people have who don't know what they're doing. So
who here
Silly.
has run into the issue of you're browsing a website, either on your phone or your laptop
Me.
or computer? Wow. You just have problems on a whole, I'm guessing. And then something pops up and redirects you to another website, or you click on a link, it takes you to something, and then another window pops open or another tab pops open and starts leading you somewhere else.
Oh, you gotta close that first window extremely quickly before it can start to load up. I mean, it happens a lot, but I guess I'm just used to it.
Are y'all
that
living in
command.
like the 90s?
Add the command W.
Like
That-
this,
Yeah.
what's, like this
Like,
happens? Y'all living in the 90s?
Yeah,
it
it happens even with
What?
things like AdBlock Plus and uBlock and stuff
yeah,
like that.
So the site automatically has a preloaded redirect command. So even if you have an ad blocker, it's still
That's
gonna load
very-
the script.
No
Just-
script. It's life. What y'all dealing with? No script is life. Block all y'all scripts. If that script is not recognized and not signed, nah, it ain't going through. No script is life. No script and ad block combination, like you can't be just strolling around online without especially without no script. That's saved my life so many times. Oh man.
I personally don't
Okay,
use ad block anymore.
Hey, sorry, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I personally don't use ad block anymore, just because companies can pay to let people in on there. But
Use the unsigned ones. Don't use the official big ones. Use the other ones.
what do you guys think about the whole Harry Potter Niantic thing that's apparently
Nope.
going on? Nope. Like, I didn't even
Nope.
finish it, and there was a no.
I feel like they should have just stuck with Pokemon Go and leave it as that. Like, try to develop that game more, and just go on that. Like, don't try that. Like the persons who are like making the Walking Dead, or augmented reality game. Like, I feel like that's a stretch. Simply because you like have your phone with you, like you moving around, like you got to be aware of your surroundings, and at the same time you got to be into your game. And most people are too into their phones to be aware of their surroundings. It's like that. And then like I'm pretty sure they're gonna have like a little splash screen to say, oh, be aware of your surroundings while you play this game, etc., etc. And it's really gonna make sense, because the game is the type of game where you gotta interact with the game, so you're not gonna be fully aware of your surroundings. So I think like that, like I feel like the Walking Dead one was a stretch. I feel like they need to leave Harry Potter alone and go bother with Pokemon Go and call it a day, and just leave. Like how are you even gonna like do the wand? Like, are you gonna like have your screen out and like be like the little sword like this, and always like move the wand around to cast a spell? Like I'm interested to see how they're gonna come up with the whole concept of it, but I'm not really too interested in the game itself.
What's your thoughts, Chris?
I don't understand how they're gonna even pull that off. I don't understand what kind of game it's gonna be. So I'm interested to see what they do, but I don't really have high hopes for it. I think from playing Ingress, I think that their best type of game is more of a tower defense type of game. They're slowly trying to become more active with AR, and I think that's a bad move. They already got a lot of bad press from Pokemon Go because people were trespassing. So yeah, I can see them getting more bad press with this game, depending on how they do it and what's the mechanics require. Like that Walking Dead app, when I saw that, I was like, this is dead in the water. This makes no sense. It's not gonna fly. This is not gonna work. This is just a horrible idea. Whoever thought about this should stop. They should be fired.
I mean, even with The Walking Dead, like the video that they have, they are quite literally in a convenience store killing stuff. And when you see two people walk...
someone running around trying to do like you run around trying to like
exactly. In a convenience store,
like,
in a
what y'all doing?
In a park, like that's just
like there's no way for you to be so into that game and be aware of your surroundings at the same time.
The thing what made Ingress so fun for me was like it was very secretive, so you actually felt like an agent. Like you actually felt like you're out there and like you're taking on these portals and stuff like that, and you're like very like being like a spy, a stealth. Like it felt like that. Like it took you away from, so you didn't want to bring attention to yourself. Pokemon Go, what made that so good was the fact that it was so community based. It actually brought communities together, actually brought people together. Like that's the first time an AR game has ever done that. However, it also worked against the game as well and against the community as well, because where people gather, of course, you have drama and just people just doing things. And like just as small as that was, even as simple as bringing people together across problems, I can't imagine what would happen if you're now having people be active, more active than they were in Pokemon Go. Like where they actually have to like run up and down and like turn and like, oh man, that's gonna be crazy.
So the whole Harry Potter thing, if it's anything like that, I don't think it's a good idea.
I think it's gonna be closer to like Pokemon, because they said you'll be able to collect monsters.
Yeah, and wait, what?
You'll be able to collect legend. You didn't read the blog? Niantic put a whole blog post
I didn't
about it.
read it completely, no.
Yeah, at the end they were talking about like some of the mechanics, and they were saying, oh, you'll be able to find and collect legendary, magical and legendary monsters.
Tell us to be about like Pokemon Go for real. And like if that's the case, if you're gonna
and
make
you'll
a
be able
game,
to collect spells.
if you're gonna make a game that's super similar to Pokemon Go, why don't you just develop Pokemon Go a bit more?
Digimon. Oh, we need this. Digimon
No,
is perfect.
yes!
Digimon is perfect for this. Like,
I'd play
oh
that.
man, Digimon would be perfect.
I'd play Digimon.
I would.
When you
not
walk
play
the
it, but it would be
conversation,
perfect.
confused as hell.
AR games. Niantic is trying to do Harry
Harry
Potter.
Potter.
We're saying it's retarded, and we offer it
I
up
agree.
Digimon instead of Harry Potter. Because it looks like they're gonna develop Harry Potter to be a little bit more like Pokemon. So if they're gonna do Pokemon, they might as well just do Digimon one time.
And okay, so here's the real question: what's going to be the focus? With Pokemon, it's quite literally you collect Pokemon, you put them in the gym, you fight. Now, if you're going to be collecting mythical creatures, you're collecting spells. Are you putting them inside of a
The
barn?
real focus
and-
is the real answer is we don't know. We have to wait and see. So
Or it could be something like, you kind of like travel in the magical world of Hogwarts
that's the
and
thing. Hogwarts is only
Ooh.
in England. Like that would be completely law breaking if this thing was like, and that's what I thought. I'm like, okay, they're gonna use like the Hogwarts houses as like teams. You can't do that because Hogwarts is literally only in England. In North America, there's Ilvermorny, and that has completely different houses. Completely different houses.
And then
So-
that's only in America. What, like us down here?
They have like so many. Well, nah, we'd be a part of the North American
Location spook.
they have like schools all over the place. Like they have a African school, they have Eastern Europe school, they have all type of stuff. They have all different schools all over the world. They have a Japanese school, they have a Latin America school. Like there's schools all over the place inside the Wizarding world. So you can't do just the Hogwarts houses. I'll be law breaking at this point.
I think it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. I do not have high hopes, to be quite honest.
it looks like it's gonna be a flop. But then at the same time, I feel like people will hype it up, so it's gonna like thrive for like the first couple months,
Yeah, don't
and then it's gonna
underestimate
die.
the Wizarding community.
Yeah. The
Something
Wizarding community is
happened.
outraged.
They'll love that. They'll eat that right up. But it's not as big as Pokemon, so
Yeah.
Pokemon is like universal.
Before you left, Nally, we were talking about Chrome and the whole redirect thing. Apparently,
Yeah.
with Chrome 64, version 64, they're gonna have it built in where it stops those redirects and gives you a message to say, okay, well, this was stopped and you can continue on without being redirected.
That's cool.
However, you can actually already do that if you use one of those Chrome flag commands. So technically that is already possible, both on your phone and your laptop. Well, or computer, I should say. And the only difference between it is that it will not show the message. It'll just stop it. But moving on from that, who here uses Twitter other than myself?
Fine use.
Do you post
learn.
anything?
There's a
No.
difference.
I still use it though.
No, I don't. I mean, I do, but it only posts automatically whenever I send an Instagram post.
Okay, so this week they decided that they were going to. I think it was actually. Was it today? Or was it yesterday?
It was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday they rolled out the increase from 140 characters to 280 characters. And there was, of course, some backlash. Some people saying that they would never retweet, so on and so forth, or reply to any messages that have about 280 characters.
Which is their right as internet citizens.
I mean, that's their right, sure. They can do whatever they feel like. But I don't think that's going to be very long-lived, to be quite honest.
Nope. I thought they're going to eventually have to eat their words.
Because when you think about it, everyone has access to it now. It's not like a special privilege. Unfortunately, Trump still has access to it. But
Sadly.
I mean, it does give a little bit more space to write more cohesive posts instead of doing like a tweet storm that could have been filled in one thing. Instead, you've got this thing that's like one part here, and then another part here. I think it's actually kind of nice, and it helps get rid of the whole tweet storm thing. Not completely, but in some part.
Nah, it's just gonna be like these giant paragraphs that you have to read now, like back to back to back. It's not gonna help.
Like
it.
Facebook?
It's easier when it's just like 2 or 3 lines, but now that it's gonna be a whole paragraph, it's gonna be terrible.
And I'm still skeptical about it because they replaced the number indicator with a circle. Like you could always tweak that for it to be less characters and nobody would really notice, or like not much people would pay attention to it. Like I feel like that. Like I like the UI, like how they change it, but I just feel like that's kind of sketchy. Like it's fishy for me.
How so? Because I mean, when you get to like 20 characters left, or somewhere up in there, it moves from the circle and starts giving you the numbers again.
Oh, I haven't. I don't think I have yet to go over like 140. Like I'm so accustomed to like staying on 140. It's just like okay.
I mean, it's interesting because there's like extensions and stuff being built now that will separate your posts that go over 140 characters and like put them as different posts now, and it's just like, how would you do that?
Yeah. Well, I figured they just trying to do something new to stay hip and young. I guess
Nah,
that's the least they could do.
Twitter been around for a little while now.
So y'all want
Yeah,
280 characters?
you know?
Look at that. Oh man, you can't really see those characters all
Little
of inside
bulldog
your Twitter
trick.
feed. Oh man, that's gonna be great, huh? Look at
Dog
that.
does need a trick.
280 characters. What you can do with it?
People are
Hey,
gonna
we
get
should-
people are gonna get like over it because like yesterday, I tell you no lie, like people were just tweeting things to like meet the limit to say we finally like have more than 140, and I
This
feel
is-
like it's
This
gonna
is a list. People are gonna do lists. People are always gonna do
be.
lists.
I feel like it's gonna
And
be like a thing, and they're gonna like
this-
move on.
When they realize
eventually.
that I can make a list this long, oh man, top 20 things in one tweet, in one shot, bam, and that's gonna be like this long.
But since you're a lurker, you could like jump off of Twitter
Ooh,
and go your way.
What if
lurking.
Why would I need to jump off?
Is that a little bit of shade right there, Vicky?
Since you don't want to see,
Sounds like got a little dark in my room.
I didn't say I want to see it. I'm just saying that this. I'm just saying that y'all be like, oh man, it's so good. This doesn't look good, does it? I don't care. I don't care at all.
I feel like people are going to get over it. I give it a few more weeks, and it's going to be like okay, like where people are still going to be so accustomed to just having 140 is going to be like okay, I type this and that's it. Like I'm not gonna
Yeah. Ahem, Vicky. Ahem.
They actually did a polling for this before they released it worldwide, and like the polling that they did, I think it said that most persons that they give the 280 character limit to, like nobody really went over like 190, and like if a person went over 190, it was like a handful of people. It wasn't like the majority of the people. So
Because no one's telling a live story.
but yeah, I feel like persons are still going to stick between that like 41 limit. They're already accustomed to it.
I thought
If
the
you
whole point
have
of
cases where
tweets
you
was
go
to send a
for-
short message.
Well,
That was the whole point.
that was the back in
Not
the
anymore.
age Twitter, but now this is the new age Twitter. Clearly,
It's Twitter.
New dog Twitter.
Talking about old stuff. Who uses a Nintendo product?
well,
Not
not the
anymore.
new one.
Currently, no.
Yeah, currently no. Well, once yes.
Who here
We don't have
has either a Nintendo 3DS or a Wii U?
My
I
roommate
use
has
my June, if that counts.
my roommate has a Wii U, but I don't play it.
Okay, so
Daniels.
No.
Daniels. I don't count.
Nope. He has one. I don't use it. There is one there.
there was something on those called the Miiverse, and we talked about it a little bit, like in a previous episode, that it was going to get shut down. Well, that day has come, and unfortunately, it has been shut down.
Is it really unfortunate? Is it really unfortunate? I don't think it is. I don't think we'll miss this.
Actually, yeah, a lot of people will miss it because it was a really good community for those who actually used it. There were a lot of information sharing.
Not good enough to keep it open.
He's got a point. How about
don't
that?
know. Maybe they might bring it back in another form. People are asking for Miiverse 2.0. So you never know.
On the Switch. Good job. Great. Let's wait, guys. See,
I was just like, thought I could just
Nintendo is
yeah,
terrible with multiplayer
Oba.
stuff. I'm sorry. Like, Nintendo is. They're terrible with multiplayer games. They're terrible with the multiplayer experience. Like, that whole... They still use friends codes. Why are you using friend codes? Why are you using friend codes? Why are you using friend codes, Nintendo? Why? Why? We are in 2017, and you guys are still using friend codes. What is a friend... I was in the 90s and not using friend codes. Like, seriously. That's very outdated. Very outdated.
Ricky, what were you saying?
I don't remember. Oh, I was saying like, you know, like it was like push persons to like use the Mi app on the mobile devices if it's still there.
I mean, it's still there, but I mean, the Miitomo app is a pile of horse.
Crap. Yep.
Yes.
Horse nothing.
I think I only used mine to get my character on Super Mario Run.
To be quite honest, Miiverse, it still does have a home. Because, I mean, the whole basis behind it was...
on what server?
I said it has the basis of a home, Chris. The whole purpose behind it was kind of like a forum and a place where people can draw and share art. And, I mean, it was handled very well. There are different communities for it, and they were very... if you logged in, 5 minutes would go by and there'd be new content like that would fill up the page. That's how many people were actually using it. So it had a fan base. It had a purpose. It's a matter of, will it get an update? Or is it just dead now? And for those people that were actually using it, they are sad. Like, some people, yes, they were like really weeping about it. Some people were like, well, thanks for the run. And that's like Sariyama and a few others from there were like pretty much the same thing. Thanks for the ride, essentially.
So all 100 people, and when we're counting like millions of app users in different apps. Okay, awesome. Yeah.
There are more than 100 people, but I get where your sarcasm is coming from.
Like it spawned and people are upset. Yeah. Is it news? I guess maybe. Something to worry about? No, not really.
So, okay, fair enough. Chris, you like to use Uber in the States, yeah? Okay, so we're back.
Like a little icon.
And, okay, so I was asking you guys, how would you guys feel if you were asked by, say, a company like Uber to take a ride in the air via drone?
Beam me up, Scotty.
Where my big ass going in the drone?
Driverless airship. I just want to call it airship. Oh, it can be tiny.
Actually, yeah, it's looking more like a 1 or 2 person kind of vehicle.
Well, I could always fit in a drone. I never have that issue, so haha.
Yeah, I mean, they could kind of like you could just climb in a box and one of them Amazon drones can pick you up.
It's like I'm like really small, so like I don't have that issue. It's only but honestly, it's only like a matter of time. Like when we get to that point, whereas like we start dealing with flying cars and stuff like that,
I don't know why people think flying cars
Yeah,
are a thing.
yeah. Flying cars are never gonna be a thing.
It's never gonna be a thing.
I hope you guys say that now.
Past year 2000,
I like
it didn't
I
happen.
like
It's
how
not
she's
gonna happen.
being optimistic about it. Like flying cars is like
That's been a
that's not how any of this works. That's
long
not how
past.
any of that works.
We'll
because
see.
There's way
You
too
don't
much science
realize
involved.
we
as-
skipping over flying cars and going straight to drones, right?
Yeah. Like
We
you know,
literally completely skipped over flying cars. You know what kind of cars we're talking about? Self-driving cars. That's the kind of cars we're talking about. Not flying. No one's talking about flying cars.
like
Not
what you
flying
need,
so?
Vicky, what you need to do is okay, just look up how a plane works and try to apply that to a car to fit 4 people.
Someone's
And
gonna
you'll,
figure it out.
and you'll see how that's not gonna work.
I gotta be optimistic that someone's gonna figure it out someday. Like it's not gonna be a thing where it's gonna be like a large scale type of distribution. But someone's
No,
gonna
we
figure
will
it out.
have flying drones, and you'll be able to sit inside the drone, and the drone will be able to fly you. But not cars. They're not going to be cars. They're just going to be
Never
drones with seats on them.
Yep.
A big drone with seats in it.
Yep.
That's it.
Apparently, they are looking within the next
Like hoverboards.
decade.
Gone. Done.
Within the next decade,
The one thing everyone wanted from Back to the Future never happened.
they
Oh,
actually
Everybody's
they-
hyped for that point.
It
they did a fake
and
version of
just
it.
Never.
Yeah. You see operative word? Fake.
Yeah.
I can't go in the store and buy a hoverboard.
Listen,
I
mate,
can't go on
I'm
Amazon
still
and order
waiting.
a hoverboard.
Still waiting for my DeLorean to come out so I can jump back about 6 to 10 years, get some stuff sorted out. So, yeah,
I mean,
exactly. So I'm still waiting, and you wait on your hoverboard.
I'm not waiting on any hoverboard. That ship has sailed.
I like how they came out with that video with Tony Hawk, and they trolled the entire internet. And everybody's like, "Oh my God, it finally happened! It finally happened!" It's like the closest thing to a hoverboard is a magnetic board that they've invented, and that is still being tested in some school, some science school, and they have to have a magnetic base that propels the board,
So
and they can only hover about 3 inches. So
when we're on Earth 3.0, maybe we'll consider looking into hoverboards.
Yeah.
We'll get space travel before we get hoverboards.
This whole drone thing, though, apparently Uber is taking a look at maybe doing it within the next decade. And they're saying that the drone is going to be a 4-seater and is going to travel at up to 200 miles an hour in the air.
See, okay, Uber. How about this? How about y'all get the self-driving cars down? Because remember, y'all tried to do that and failed miserably because y'all cars were told to get off the road. So, how about y'all get that down first instead of, I don't know, drones?
dude,
Y'all can't even get to
no
a car.
one, dude. What drone is 4 people gonna to sit in to fly someplace at 200 miles an hour? It's a flying suicide box.
Apparently they're working with NASA to try and get like it working properly and like
If they work with SpaceX,
Dude, I
this
feel
shit
like
was gonna
NASA
happen,
is bored.
but they're not.
NASA's just bored and they're trying to do some stuff, but no.
NASA's irrelevant. We have
Well,
SpaceX now. Who
Well,
needs
we
NASA?
just like the grid and people, eh?
We have SpaceX. We don't need NASA. What NASA doing?
Gosh.
What is NASA doing?
This
What are
is-
they doing?
He was like totally degrade all those persons who
NASA. I'll tell you what
hard
NASA's
to
doing.
get their
NASA's trying to get funds.
degrees.
That's what NASA's doing. You know
No,
what
what
SpaceX
NASA's really trying to do.
SpaceX is trying to send people to Mars. That's what SpaceX doing.
Yeah, NASA's actually just trying to get people to shut up about this whole flat Earth thing.
That too.
that too.
It's
Yeah.
like, dude, science, shut up, science.
I say just leave the flat Earth. Leave them alone, man. Like
They're the
I
new
would-
age pyramid heads, essentially.
no, Pyramid Head was an amazing monster. Why would you call him that?
No, not the monster. The people that would like literally like consider like putting hats of pyramids
The only
on their
Pyramid
head.
Head that is worth mentioning is from Silent
I
Hill.
mean, like the dunce, like the dunce hat was
No,
just behave.
Pyramid Head from Silent Hill who's go around and like pull your whole
That's it.
skin off your body.
He's
Oh,
talking about that.
okay.
I'm talking about something different. They actually had a reference to it in an Ed Murphy movie.
Pyramid Head, oh my.
But-
Don't let him lie to you.
Essentially, though, like, I do agree. It feels a little weird that NASA's working with them. Like, I get that, you know, they want something up in the air, but do you really want to go with NASA with this?
I don't know.
Because they told it to SpaceX, and SpaceX laughed them out of the room.
I could actually see that
Exactly.
happening.
Dude, I feel like Neil deGrasse Tyson was sitting down on that meeting and he was like, science. Then he let them go.
That's actually something that he would say.
Yeah, it is.
He would be like, science, and like that's supposed to be an answer. No, Neil, that's not an answer. I'm sorry. Try again.
So they say no, but Mr. Tyson, we actually want to come up with science.
And chicken nuggets. Oh man.
But here's the thing: do you want to be propelling 200 miles per hour through the
No.
air
In a death box, no.
that someone else is driving?
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
That a
what
drone
you
is-
think a plane is?
Hold on. So someone is driving it, or is
It's a
think a
it's a
plane is.
drone. It's
Yeah.
someone's gonna be driving?
someone's gonna be using a remote control to drive you.
No. No. Hell no. What the?
That's what a drone is. A drone is where
Ah,
automatically is
It'll be
someone
self-driving.
controlling.
Don't worry, it'll be self-driving.
I don't see anything about self-driving in this.
Well, I mean, I would hope it's self-driving.
Ah, fam. Nah, no. I don't need dude. Let's just kill off more people by having drone tag now. Drone cars
Oh,
tag. 200 mile an hour straight dive.
Gosh. I mean, with the whole self-driving thing, they also have to get past Google with Waymo. Because Google, I mean, granted, Google's kind of like not looking so good inside this court case right now. It's looking like Uber kind of didn't really steal their stuff, even though they had access to it. But yeah, apparently Google's now going out onto the whole self-driving taxi thing as well.
Google
Well,
need to
doesn't
figure
Google-
out. Google need to
doesn't
I would
Google
trust
already have
Google
self-driving
self-driving taxi before anyone else's.
Oh yeah,
They've been doing self-driving cars longer than anyone else.
yeah. Because their street view cars are automated, correct?
Yep.
Yep.
Completely
Yeah. So
driverless.
why would I not trust that?
What were you saying, Vicky?
I said they need to go focus on their phones at the moment. Deal with the Pixel situation.
Google just needs a focus period. How about that? Because they have no focus.
All that we could
Yeah.
do that. Take a focus period.
Yeah,
Minus
I
the
can
AI.
believe
All
that.
over the place.
But I feel like Google AI creeps me out.
No, Microsoft AI creeped everybody out.
Oh, what about Apple AI and the whole bra thing?
Bruh.
Yeah, like if you type in what it is, Bussier or something like that. If you type in something
Bussier.
inside like a photo, yeah. If you type in that inside the photo app, when you search it, it's gonna like show you photos like bras and boobs and stuff like that. If you had any saved in your phone.
The look on Nally's face right now.
Because
Says a
I've
lot.
never heard anything like that before. I was like, what? Why is that a thing? Why?
It became a thing like last week. Like it was so not expected. Like I did it jokingly, and surprisingly, I got some photos pulled off. I was like, oh, okay.
All her nudes.
Right.
Ready for her to send to Facebook.
So they can
That's
pull them
just-
down in case anybody leaks them for me.
Yep. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
That's really weird.
It was.
Google don't do that.
I don't
But you're
think.
scared of Google.
Actually,
You,
I did a test with Google
See?
Photos.
did it do it?
Now, just hold on. I did
TMI.
I did a test.
It found all the pictures of you wearing bras. Oh man, that's so horrible.
No, I have no pictures of me doing that because I've never done anything like that.
Hashtag project.
But I did do several different ones. I did
What?
boobs, breasts, tits, bras. I think is the only one that did work.
Uh-huh.
And it pulled in some of the photos that I would have put on there to do the test, but it also picked up on photos of very random things as well, like people at an event, like fully clothed and everything like that. There was a picture.
Didn't know. Is someone all the way in the back? bra was showing, and it picked that up. You just didn't see it because you're a lousy human, but it's an intelligent AI, and it can see these things from like, you know.
Yeah, I noticed.
On.
So I mean, it's kind of there, but not really. At least not full. It doesn't seem smart enough to really separate everything just yet. But who knows? Maybe that might be a thing that is an article within the next week or so.
Well then.
Well, I think that kind of covers our topics that I think we wanted to talk about. So, overall, I'd like to thank my guests for coming on. So, Nally, Vicky, Chris.
It's been fun.
Yep.
Welcome.
Welcome.
And thanks to the viewers that actually came on, like Shaggy Austin and Rajan Salt, even though he's not here anymore. And of course, for those that will be listening to this recorded version or are currently watching it still and just lurking, then please don't forget, Esports Wrap is on Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tech Talk will be back next week on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Do not forget, we also have a podcast where you can listen in just the audio on morecookies.com or on Apple Podcast, Google Play Music, or, you know, if you want to subscribe, it's facebook.com/morecookies and youtube.com/morecookies or twitch.tv/MOAR_cookies. And until next time, take care.
Peace.